This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Drift Cutter Diving. Welcome you to another sports catastrophe on this day. And of course, this is going to be a somber day. Not only for the on this day, but the birthday boy, there'll be a somber thing about it. But yeah, it's a somber tinge today. So anyway, it's been 5 years since this major accident happened. Yes, it's the Humboldt Broncos bus crash that killed 16 people and injured 13 when a coach bus carrying the Humboldt Broncos of the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League crashed near Armley, Saskatchewan. They were on their way to play. I can't remember who they were on their way to play, but they were just trying to play. They were going to play another game and they nip a win. That's it. And things were bad. So anyway, so two Saskatchewan highways would meet at a right angle intersection. The intersection is known as Armley Corner and all that. They had stop signs with flashing red lights. Of course, they were installed because in '97, at that same intersection which claimed those Humboldt lives, 6 members of a family from British Columbia were killed. So, anyway, it was just huge and all that. And the worst part is between 2011 and 2015, Saskatchewan actually had the highest rate of traffic deaths per 100,000 people at 13.2 of any province. So anyway, so at 5 Central Time, which was 6 o'clock our time, Eastern Time, a truck driver by the name of Jaskirat Singh Sidhu was traveling westbound in a transport truck carrying 2 trailers loaded with peat moss going about to 90 kilometers per hour, and a bus going 90 to 100 kilometers per hour traveling northbound on Highway 35 was carrying the members of the Humboldt Broncos hockey team. So, unfortunately, Sidhu actually failed to stop at the stop sign, and the Broncos bus was given the right of way. And Sidhu's truck was completely blocking the intersection where the Broncos bus slammed into the lead trailer. It was a clear sunny day and all that. There's no problems and all that. So anyway, they said that Sidhu was not under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or was distracted by anything. Although he did say he was distracted by a tarp that had actually come loose. But the bus driver for the Broncos applied his brakes 24 meters before the intersection, but could not avoid the collision. The bus struck the truck's front trailer in a T-bone collision. The bus had massive damage at the front. The driver and 13 passengers were killed immediately, and then 2 died in hospital. So the bus broadsided the semi-trailer and all that. Yeah, so anyway, it was huge and all that. They had the 18-year-old players up front, the 19-year-olds in the middle, and the 20-year-olds in the back, based on consistency. The veterans in the back. So yeah, so 14 died instantly. 2 were in the hospital when they died. It was just shocking and all of that. Anyway, it was just shocking and all of that. First responders came, and there were a lot of people. So anyway, it was just sad and all that. So anyway, yep. It was just shocking and all that. The RCMP would not release names of the dead till the families were notified, but Twitter said a lot of things. The head coach and GM Darcy Hogan died. Team captain Logan Shantz died. Bus driver Glenn Dorkson, 2 radio station employees died. The only woman on the bus was the athletic therapist Dana Braun. She died. And there was a mistake. Parker Tobin was said to be alive instead of Xavier LaBelle, but the coroner filled up the names. So there were a lot of people. Tyler Bieber, Jacob Light, Adam Harold, Glenn Dorkinson, Darcy Hogan, Brody Hintz, Logan Boulay, Logan Shantz, Evan Thomas, Jackson Joseph, Logan Hunter, a lot of Logans, wow. Parker Tobin, Stephen Wack, Connor Lucan, Dana Braun, and Mark Cross. There's a massive investigation going on and all that. To everything. There was an eyewitness who said that she had spent her vehicle away seconds before the crash, being sandwiched by the 2 vehicles. She called 911 and all that. So there was a criminal investigation. Sidhu was charged with 16 counts of dangerous driving causing death and 13 counts of dangerous driving causing bodily harm. And he only had 1 year of experience driving trucks and 2 weeks of training on the vehicle he was driving. So, anyway. Unfortunately, the trucking company, Adash Dole Trucking, was charged with violating federal and provincial safety regulations. 2 counts of failure to require a daily log, 2 counts of keeping multiple daily logs per single day, 3 counts of failure to monitor the driver's compliance, and all that. Well, truck driver Sidhu pled guilty. Was fined $5,000. But anyway, Sidhu did express remorse and apologize. And he botched a lot of things. The Crown wanted him to give a 10-year sentence, followed by a 10-year driving ban. The judge sentenced Sidhu in 2019 to concurrent sentences of 8 years. So, anyway, he was actually granted day parole by the Parole Board of Canada, but that didn't go over so well. Can you blame him? Anyway, there were a lot of lawsuits filed after the crash. And all of that. The majority of the lawsuits listed the truck driver, the Saskatchewan government, the Calgary based company, and the bus company as defendants. So, anyway, there's a lot of problems and all that. So, yeah, lots of people came by and all of that. Pope Francis sent a message of condolence. Donald Trump even did. The Queen and Prince Philip did. Ellen DeGeneres, Drake, Whoopi Goldberg even voiced their sympathy and all that. Anyway, Swift Current of the WHL gave them their condolences. Well, mostly because there was a bus crash in December 1986 that claimed 4 lives. All that. The Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League suspended its playoffs immediately. And then Nipawin and Estevan would play for the league championship. All that. Manitoba Junior Hockey League delayed their playoffs by 4 days. There were a lot of problems and all that. So anyway, yeah. So Alberta Transportation would investigate the safety certificate by the trucking company. One of the survivors, Ryan Straczynski, paralyzed from the waist down, and result of the accident, wanted to play sledge hockey and all that. She was great and all that. The Saskatchewan government, April 13, 2018, announced plans to improve training standards by 2019 for truck drivers, meaning that certified schools had to give them training. Blood donations would be huge and all that. Lots of leagues paid tribute to him and all that. The final game of the 2018 regular season for the Jets and Blackhawks in the NHL, both teams had the Broncos' name in place of the regular name bars in their game and stood united in a circle at center ice during the national anthems. And Nashville even played O Canada, even though that they were playing Columbus, and none of the teams were Canadian. So it was just, you know that, Coach's Corner did it, Don Cherry describing it as a national nightmare. Of course, it was just huge. The Jets would actually display Matthew Grimmerich on the video board on April 20, 2018 during the first round of the playoffs. And the standing ovation happened and all that. In fact, the Stanley Cup was brought to the hospital where the injured players were to improve their spirits and all that. And Chandler Stevenson, a member of the 2018 Capitals that won the Stanley Cup, said that he knew some of the people on the Broncos team and wanted to give the Stanley Cup to Humboldt, which he did. And 10 survivors of the crash were honored at the 2018 NHL Awards in Las Vegas. And then Green Shirt Day happens on April 7th. Because it honors the victims and families of the Humboldt crash, but promotes organ donor awareness and registration. The Logan Brulé effect. So anyway, they were huge and all that. So yeah, there were a lot of things going on. Different sports would honor them. But the biggest thing would be people leaving their hockey sticks out on their front porches to tribute to the victims. The tribute, known by the social media hashtag put your sticks out, was started after TSN radio broadcaster Brian Munz received a text message from a friend urging people to leave their hockey sticks out. The boys might need them wherever they are. And it was just huge and all that. The Canadians would do everything. All that. So anyway, crowdfunding reached $15 million in 12 days, which was amazing. It was a national record. There were some scams, of course, but what else? Depiction in media, there's been a book called Humble Beginnings of the Humboldt Broncos of the 2018 team. It was released in October 2018. Unfortunately, there were some people that were upset because the author, Barry Heath, actually did not proceed with the book without input from certain people. 2 documentary films were made. CBC's Humboldt, the New Season, and TSN's Two Roads to Humboldt got some nominations and stuff. And W5 did a segment called The Humboldt Driver in October 2021 to detail the bus driver's thing and examine the Canadian trucking industry. But there would be intersection improvements and all that. Lots of recommendations were made to the Saskatchewan government, and they did it all. So anyway, September 12th, when Nipawin came to Humboldt for the first home game for Humboldt since the accident, September 12th, 2018, it was simulcast on TSN nationally. And The numbers of all players on the bus were formally retired by the team. And for players who were still active or planned to return to the Broncos, their number would be retained, but once they retired, that would be the conclusion of the careers. They would be retired. Unfortunately, Nipawin would win that game 2-1, but it didn't matter. So, of course, the accident, the bus collision was now the worst bus collision, sports team bus collision in North American history. The previous was not the Swift Current one. It was the Baylor Bears having a bus crash in 1927 that claimed the lives of many players. And the 2008, and in Canada, the record was unfortunately 2008 when Bathurst, New Brunswick, there was a minivan crash. So yeah, it's just tragic what happened. And humbled forever. Those 29 guys, I hope they're looking down and seeing what they have done for the province of Saskatchewan, bringing everyone together. Green forever. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.